There are people who can't relax if a single glass is left out of place. They can't sink into the couch if there's a pile of clothes on the chair beside them. They notice it, they feel it, and they can't quite let it go. And it's not because they love cleaning, it's because something inside them won't settle until things are in order. For them, mess isn't just mess, it's noise, it's tension, it's a quiet signal the mind keeps replaying. Maybe you've walked into someone's home and felt how calm it was, nothing out of place, and wondered, how do they do that? More discipline? More time? Or are they just built differently? Here's what most people miss. It was never really about cleaning. It's about how the mind works. Someone who keeps their space in order every day isn't running on the same mental system as someone who only cleans when they finally can't stand it anymore. They're not using more willpower than you. They're running a quieter, deeper program underneath. And to understand it, there's one thing you have to see first. Your brain doesn't draw a clean line between your inner world and the world around you. The space you live in isn't just a place, it's a constant message. Every object out of place, every dish left in the sink, every little thing you tell yourself you'll deal with later, your mind quietly records it. Even when you don't notice, it files it away as something unfinished, something still open, and open loops cost energy. Psychologists call this cognitive load. The more clutter sits around you, the more mental bandwidth your brain spends just to keep ignoring it. There's even a name for the pull of unfinished things, the Zeigarnik effect. The mind keeps tasks open and active until they're closed. Studies on visual clutter point the same way. A busy, disordered environment competes for your attention and makes it harder to focus. You become slower, more scattered, more tired without knowing why. So when some people say they can't be in a messy room, it isn't drama, it's saturation. Now flip it around. When everything is clean in its place, something shifts. The mind stops bracing, it exhales. That's why people who keep their space in order don't just get a nicer room, they get a clearer head, calmer, more focused. The outside quiet becomes inside quiet. But here's the part that matters most. They're not really chasing a clean house. They're protecting something much more valuable, a feeling of control. Because here's something almost no one says out loud. Most of your life isn't under your control. You can't control what happens out there. You can't control other people or your job or what tomorrow brings. But your space, that's yours. And every time you tidy, every time you wipe a counter, every time you put one small thing back where it belongs, you send your mind a direct message. This is handled. I'm in charge here. And that quietly lowers anxiety more than it looks like it should. In psychology, there's a term for this, an internal locus of control. People who feel they can influence their own life tend to carry less stress, and one of the simplest ways to strengthen that feeling is to take charge of your environment. So cleaning isn't just a chore, it's a signal you send yourself. But there's something deeper still, and it has to do with identity. People who keep their space in order usually aren't forcing themselves. At some point, they simply became that kind of person. Someone who doesn't let things pile up, someone who takes care of their space, someone who takes care of themselves. And once that becomes part of who you are, you stop debating it. It just happens. Because we act in line with who we believe we are. If you keep telling yourself, I'm a messy person, your behavior will keep proving you right. But if you start acting like someone who looks after their space, even in tiny ways, your mind slowly updates the picture. And little by little you become that, not overnight, but almost inevitably. Now think about this. How many times have you felt you couldn't fully relax in your own home, like something didn't fit, like there was a low background tension you couldn't name? Look around you, because a lot of the time it isn't only what happened during your day, it's the space you come home to. Clutter isn't neutral, it acts on you. Research has linked cluttered, chaotic home environments with higher cortisol, the stress hormone, across the day, more fatigue, more of that I can't catch up feeling, and sometimes the mess isn't the cause, it's a reflection. When someone is struggling inside, their space is often the first thing to fall apart, outer chaos mirroring inner chaos. But it runs the other way too. Cleaning the outside can begin to clean the inside. That's why so many people, without realizing it, clean when they feel bad. They scrub, they reorganize, not because they want a perfect home, but because they're trying to calm something within. And it makes sense. Cleaning is action. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It gives the mind something it's hungry for: closure, a finished loop, a small, complete win when everything else feels unfinished. So people who clean every day aren't spending more discipline than you. They're using something else, automation. They don't negotiate. They don't wait to feel like it. They just do it, like brushing their teeth. And that changes everything. Because willpower runs out, habits don't. A behavior takes time to become automatic, often weeks of gentle repetition before it stops feeling like effort. That's the whole point. It's not about forcing yourself forever. It's about repeating it long enough that you no longer have to force yourself at all. There's also something you feel but rarely explain. Walking into a clean space isn't only visual, it's physical. Your body reads it. Your nervous system interprets order as safety, as calm, as everything is okay. For some people, that isn't a luxury, it's a need, especially if they're sensitive to their surroundings. For them, mess isn't just uncomfortable, it's exhausting. So they keep order, not for looks, for balance. So if you've made it this far and some of this feels like you, don't try to change everything at once. Do something smaller, choose one space, just one, and keep it for 7 days. That's it. Don't make it perfect. Don't demand more. Just notice what happens. How do you feel walking into it? How does it sit with you? Because this was never really about having a clean house. It's about who you are when no one is watching. It's about how you treat yourself quietly every day. In the end, they're not just cleaning their home, they're keeping something in order that the world won't keep for them. And maybe that's why when everything is finally in its place, when nothing is pending, when the noise fades, it isn't only the room that rests, it's the mind. For a moment, everything feels under control, not because the world went quiet, but because you did on the inside. And that, small as it seems, changes more than it looks like it should. If something here felt like you, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And if you want to understand more of the quiet things that usually go unnoticed, subscribe. See you in the next one. See